Hello lovely family and friends, and warm welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is well by God's grace. Today I want to share with you how you can make this lovely delicious baked chips. Okay, I just want you to hear how crunchy it is. When I break it, it's not close to the microphone so you don't hear, but when I chew it, you hear. Right, so let me show you how you can achieve this crunchiness. For starters, I'm going to be blending my garlic and onions. Okay, so I have 2 cloves and then a small onion, right? And I'm adding some water to help blend. I'm also adding some minced herbs. Okay, this is optional, totally optional. You don't have to add it. So it's nicely blended and I'll set that aside. So in my mixing bowl, I have some flour and I'm going to be adding some sugar to it, salt, nutmeg, and some cinnamon. Okay. Also, I'm going to be adding some baking powder. Then milk powder. So because we are going to be baking this, you can make it as rich as you can, but not too rich, right? I'm giving you all the measurements to help you attain this. So I've added some margarine, okay, 280 grams, and I just added 20 grams of butter to give it that buttery flavor. I didn't want to use just butter to make it too rich, otherwise it does not become crunchy as you want it to be like chips. All right, so mixing everything together, make sure that the butter and the flour are completely mixed together before you add in your liquid mixture, which is the blended onion, garlic, and mixed herbs. I'm going to mix this in until it forms a dough. But my people, you just have to believe me that this mixture that I just added, I just got lucky with the water, the liquid content, okay, because it makes my flour into a perfect dough. Let me say it that way. But then I'll give you the measurement anyway. But then if you are doing it, just pour it into your mixture, your dry mixture, little by little, okay? Don't just pour it in. I just got lucky. Should you add a lot of water or a lot of liquid mixture and your dough is too soft, please just add some flour, okay? And just, mix some flour in and it should be fine, right? So now we're going to be rolling our chips. So what I tend to do is to try as much as possible to roll it into a square sheet, or to roll the sheet into a square sheet. Right? So once I get a very nice and flat sheet, what I do is I use my knife to cut it into a rectangle, actually not a square. So I felt something was not right when I was saying it. A long rectangle, okay? And then I will divide this into 2. So I'm going to be using Nanabe's method of cutting hair chips, okay? I did a live video on that. These days, that's all I do. I use that method because it's so easy. You just cut away and within a few minutes, you are done. Once I get my not so perfect rectangle, I divide it into 2 and sprinkle some flour on it and put one on the other and then cut away. Here I use my ridge knife. I don't know why I call it ridge knife because I think it has ridges in it, right? The excess, okay, what I do with the excess is I just slice it like our normal chips, right? That's all I do with it. I don't remold it. And if you don't have a ridge knife, you can use anything that has a design on it to cut. So I just showed you this thing I'm holding. I don't know what it's called actually. It's like a bench scraper or something, but it's got zigzag on it. And I just use it to cut to give that zigzag effect. So anything that has like a bread knife, you can also use a bread knife to do that cutting. So I use that to cut it. And I just want to say here before I forget that with this recipe, because we are going to be baking it, we added more butter to it. Please, you cannot use this same measurements for fried chips. What will happen is it will be so rich, it will soak all your oil when you fry it. Trust me, it may even disintegrate into your oil if it's too rich. So make sure that you use the right measurements for fried chips. And I have that on my channel, even though it's a long one, live one. You can always fast forward it, okay? So what I did is just to cut it as you see me do. It's just simple. Cut it with you can just use a normal knife to cut it so that there are no zigzag at the end. There are no designs. Just don't worry about designing it or anything, okay, if you don't have anything. And what I did was instead of just putting it on my tray like just as it is, I decided to twist it, okay? So twist it to give it a very nice design, nice effect, okay? You know, when you fry our chips, it doesn't come out straight. It comes out, a twisty way, and I just wanted something similar, so I decided to twist it. You don't need to twist it as much as I'm doing it. You can just twist it once or twice, but yeah, that's how I wanted it to look like. Beautiful, okay? So I decided to also use this designed rolling pin to roll my dough to get that nice effect or design on the chips itself, okay? So I use that, and yeah, this is me trying to work my way through cutting this without losing the design, because you do lose a little bit. So I just kept going back and forth, rolling it until before I cut it. So yeah, so the same way I cut, you just cut it all and then you arrange it on your tray. So with this, you can also twist it to give it an added beautiful design. You twist it, okay, again, but then you don't have to because it has a beautiful design on it already. I baked it at 180, but for the time, you need to know your oven, okay? I cannot tell you that 30 minutes or 15 minutes because it is a bit tricky. So what you need to do is to know your oven and keep checking, right? So for this, don't expect it to get crunchy in the oven. If you do, it's going to burn, right? So when it is cooked, you take it out, and then after it cools down, it turns crunchy. I hope you understand. So for me, in total, it took 30 minutes because I didn't want it to burn. I kept taking it out and putting it back in. So that is it done. It tastes so good. It's so rich because of all the rich ingredients we added it, and you'll love it. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for stopping by. And I'll see you in the very next one. Bye.